Corner Gaming.
Mukuro raised her head and shouted, "You're wrong! Makoto isn't a terrorist! You'll have to believe me!" Her whole gym fell silent, and then, as if he was speaking for everyone there, Taka stepped forward and nervously asked, "Hold on! What do you mean Makoto isn't a terrorist? It sounds like you're saying there's no doubt that you are, in fact, a terrorist. I ask that you correct yourself and say, we are not terrorists!" Celeste began expressing her own doubts as well. "It is strange. Does it not seem odd that she's so protective of someone we all just met a few days ago?" Mukuro stood in silence. The other students began to fill with suspicion and doubt as they realized they weren't looking at the real Junko and Oshima. "Will the real Slim Shady please stand up, moment?" Byakuya pushed up his glasses and began coldly pointing out what seemed like out of place for him. "I heard that fool Makoto, whatever his name is, call you Mukuro instead of Junko. How would Makoto know your name is really Mukuro if he just met you not that long ago?" "That's..." "I've also heard of Fenrir. As I recall, its members have a tattoo somewhere on their body." Instinctively, Byakuya's words put Mukuro into a calm state of mind. In hostile situations, her defensive reflexes as the ultimate soldier often manifested themselves. Mukuro's tattoo was on the back of her right hand. She wondered how she could hide this from the other students without calling attention to it. But in the end, this concern was in vain. If the police's records are true, she should have a tattoo on the back of her right hand. Wait, I hate the fact that I don't know who's saying shit sometimes. "Alright, show us the back of your right hand and prove your innocence. Your youthfulness and your innocence." Monokuma dispensed another unnecessary remark.
"Make sure you look real close. She might have covered it up with foundation."
Junko had ordered Mukuro to hide a tattoo with foundation, so Monokuma's information was entirely true. There was nothing Mukuro could do except stay quiet. However, she wasn't staying quiet because identity was about to be exposed. She was struck by the realization that her sister was completely serious by pinning this on her. "Why the hesitation? As my classmate, I have complete youthfulness and faith in you." From behind him, Hifumi Yamada, the ultimate fanfic creator, murmured to himself as cold sweat ran down his cheeks.
"Oh, well, look at that. I guess this is what they call a checkmate, huh?"
Wonder how fucking... Why didn't you fess up already, fucking bastard? However, there are some students that were already questioning Monokuma instead of Mukuro. "Hey, you're not coming to save us?" Shouted Leon Kawada, the ultimate baseball star. "You should hurry up and charge in already." Monokuma looked at Leon and shook his head softly.
"The police can't help you right now. Not only you guys hostages, it's possible that the entire school has been rigged with explosives and poisonous gas. I acted to this Monokuma robot to investigate that for myself."
Another thing that would make it suspicious, right? If there are multiple Monokuma robots, what would hacking one of them do? Why is nobody thinking, yo, we already know that there's multiple Monokuma robots. You know.
"Then what about everyone at DFDD? What about everyone outside the school?"
Sayaka. The memory of the DVD she was forced to watch yesterday still weighed heavily on her mind, but Monokuma didn't have a clear answer.
"I don't know anything about any DVDs, but there are definitely terrorists causing havoc out there. Law enforcement around the world is in shambles trying to deal with this."
"That's impossible." Sayaka shuddered and collapsed to her knees. Fuck.
"Sayaka?"
Next to her, Chihiro Fujisaki, the ultimate programmer, wasn't sure what she should do. Behind her, two other girls stood silently. First was Toko Fukawa, the ultimate writing prodigy. She seemed to be trying very hard not to look at Makoto as he lay bleeding. The other was a quiet girl who hadn't talked about herself much, named Kyoko Kirigiri. Unlike Toko, Kyoko was watching everything intently, as if she was studying the scene of a crime. From Makoto's breathing patterns to subtle changes in Mukuro's facial expression, nothing was escaping her attention. Suddenly, Toko began nervously talking to Sakura.
Anyway, let's say Mukuro, woman, or whatever is there as terrorists. Hurry up and beat her to death or something."
"We don't know that yet. My fists do not mete out justice based on simple speculation. Sakura tried to get near Makoto to examine his wounds, but Monokuma stood in the way shouting,
Don't come any closer!
This meant that Mukuro was the only one who could get close to Makoto. She had ended countless lives on the battlefield, she knew from experience. If she didn't treat Makoto's wounds, he would die. His wounds were not immediately fatal, but if it continued losing blood, he would eventually slip into shock and die shortly thereafter. Please, you need to treat Makoto first. Absolutely not, said Byakuya, harshly interrupting Mukuro. Tying you up and examining the back of your right hand is our first priority.
Hey, Makoto's in danger! Now's not the time for that!
Said Aoi as she cast a worried glance at Makoto. She was still having trouble understanding the situation and hadn't decided if Makoto was suspicious or not. Like I said, so stupidly accurate. Stupidly accurate is what Aoi is. Byakuya was about to snap back at her, but Mukuro's action stunned him to silence. She took a deep breath and then Mukuro removed the blonde wig from her head. Where there were two long blonde pigtails only a moment before, there was now a short black hair. She cleared her face of all emotion, and when she spoke, her voice rang throughout the gym. I'm not Junko Enoshima. My name is Mukuro Ikusaba. The student stared wide-eyed at her open confession. All she did was remove a wig and clear her emotions, but in doing so, the person the students had recognized as Junko Enoshima vanished from his sight. The terrorist that had taken her place continued to speak in a calm, stoic tone. I helped lock everyone inside this academy. The confession on a seaside cliff? Oh, fuck.
The confession on a seaside cliff moment has finally arrived.
Ifumi blurted out. What? Wigs are against school regulations! Mukuro! As he stirred by cries of excitement, the other students began clamoring among themselves. Huh? So, Makoto's wounds are like real? Does that mean the stuff about the terrorists or whatever is all real too? So everything that happened these past few days was a bunch of stage events? As the reality of the situation began dawning on Yasuhiro, all Leon could say to him was, Shut the hell up! Byakuya just remained calm and addressed Mukuro in a condescending manner. What does your group want? If you were after money, you would have already tried to negotiate with me. Of course, I'd rather let him die than surrender to your ransom demands. Our purpose is to fill the world with despair. Byakuya scoffed at this notion and began to speak once again. I see. Monokuma said something similar. That ideology is what fuels your terrorism. It's true. If you did anything to me, you would certainly fill the world with despair. But obviously that would be impossible for you. I couldn't believe what Byakuya was saying, and frowned as she muttered, How sun-scented can you be? After confirming at Byakuya had no more questions for her, Mukuro looked at Makoto, whose breathing had slowed, and let her voice show some emotion. But Makoto has nothing to do with this. You can't believe what Monokuma says. What did you just say, bitch? Shouted Mondo. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're a terrorist, just like Monokuma said. Mukuro looked away from Mondo and continued speaking. That's true, but Makoto isn't involved at all. Celeste coldly brushed her objection aside. I do not think trying to protect him would do any good. After all, we all heard Makoto call you by your real name. That's... She had no words. There was nothing she could say to protect Makoto. Even though Makoto was truly innocent, though Mukuro was the ultimate soldier, her powers were largely limited to battle. Even a normal high school student could outwit her when it comes to debate and negotiation. If she were an ultimate negotiator, she might be able to convince them their memories had already been erased. But in her current situation, if she tried to bring up their memory loss, they would think it was a desperate excuse. Even Mukuro knew that. And even if she didn't know what to say, she still knew what to do. Right now, we need to treat Makoto first. And then she started walking towards Makoto as if nothing happened. To the others, it seemed like Mukuro decided to abruptly change the subject.
Hold it! We'll immediately take Makoto to the nurse's office for treatment. However, we must tie you up.
This was Sakura's honest demand, but there was no way Mukuro could accept it. If she was separated from Makoto, there would be no telling what Monokuma would do to him. Between Mondo's hot temper and Byakuya's cold heart, Makoto could easily sustain further injuries under pretense of interrogation. Furthermore, Among these students, Mukuro knows she was the only one who had experienced treating wounds due to her time with Fenrir. After mulling that over, she narrowed her eyes and went silent. Her mind was made up. She was determined to fight her way out of here and escape with Makoto. I apologize, but I need you to fall asleep right now. As she said that, Sakura instantly positioned herself behind Mukuro. She was completely within a blind spot. To a normal person, it would have seemed like Sakura had suddenly vanished. After moving faster than any human being could see, Sakura's equally fast hands launched a blow toward the back of Mukuro's neck. However, sorry Sakura, but I need to get out of here. Mukuro parried Sakura's fist with a spinning roundhouse kick. Yeah! Sakura raised an eyebrow at the unexpected counterattack. Mukuro tried to use the momentum of a kick to sweep Sakura out from under her. Sweep Sakura's feet out from under her. However, Sakura dodged and instinctively struck back against Mukuro's pivot leg. But Mukuro was faster and jumped up, aiming a tornado kick at Sakura's chin. Sakura reflected the attack with one arm, then both combatants leapt backwards, glared and charged simultaneously. Every blow they dealt was parried and countered by the other, and though they were both unarmed, the sound of their battle echoed throughout the gym. It was like a typhoon had been compressed and to the size of a car and set loose inside the gym. The other students were powerless to stop them. All they could do was stare at the breathtaking dance of death unfolding before them. After 10 minutes had passed, the enormous sound of one final impact rang throughout the gym. The two warriors leapt back once again and breathed heavily as they stared each other down.
My mistake. Though it's only been a few days, I cannot believe I did not notice such an impressive fighter was hiding among us.
In addition to the surprise Sakura felt, it was as if the battle left her energized. Mukuro, on the other hand, looked down at her arm and confirmed that it had been wounded during the battle and thought to herself, she's strong. I don't think Sakura is even taken seriously right now. Despite being constantly surrounded by firearms, blades, tarps, and explosives during her time with Fenrir, this was the first time she had ever been wounded. Mukuro was powerless before the might of the woman known as the ultimate martial artist and the strongest woman in the world. Just as I thought, I can't beat Sakura with my bare hands alone. If she had been directly ordered to kill Sakura, Mukuro would have opted either a sniper from a distance or poison her. At this close range, she would need an assault rifle just to stand a fighting chance. I don't have time for this. She looked at Makoto and confirmed that his breathing had gone even shallower. I need to hurry. But at that moment, she had no one to turn to for help. Suddenly, Mukuro had an idea. It was true that gaining an ally in this situation was impossible. However, she could still turn one person into her enemy's enemy. Mukuro took a deep breath before she charged at Sakura. Then she immediately fainted and charged a different girl, Toko, who had been cowering in fear from the battle between Sakura and Mukuro in the corner of the gym. And this is where the best part of the everything is going to occur. We're finally going to see the insanity that these genociders show. Toko, we need your better half. We need your better half. Seriously, man. I just realized, genocider / Toko is not a yandere. She's not. She's just crazy. She's just crazy. Wow. I'm amazed. I'm amazed.
This is bad.
Sakura was caught off guard and tried to run after her, while Mukuro was one step ahead and reached Toko first.
Why me?
I'm sorry.
Hey, hold on.
Mukuro jabbed Toko in her solar plexus and she fell into her arms. Taka and Ari yelled in shock.
This is bad. She plans to use Toko as a hostage.
Is it Toko? In contrast to her shocked faces, Byakuya just snickered and coldly remarked, You fool. Do you really think we care if you take someone you just met a few days ago as your hostage? Mukuro softly glanced at Byakuya and replied, You didn't meet her a few days ago. What did you say? You met her 2 years ago. Byakuya scowled, and Mukuro ignored him and held her bloody arm in front of Toko's face, and then she yelled into her ears, Wake up, Genocide Jack! It seemed so random and out of place. Why would Mukuro mention the name of a notorious serial killer right now? The students looked at each other with confusion when suddenly, Toko, been groaning in pain, suddenly kicked off the floor of the gym with renowned vigor. She leapt into the air much higher than any normal human should have been able to. While hovering several meters in mid-air, Toko twirled faster than a professional figure skater. This caused her skirt to flutter, immediately revealing multiple pairs of sparkling scissors. Countless tally marks were scratched into her legs, just like a kill count carved into a fighter jet. If not for this situation, Toko's glamorous jumps and sprints would have been a sight to behold. The girl formerly known as Toko Fukawa crackled wildly, and her red eyes sparkled as her absurdly long tongue flopped out of her mouth.
You call for me here, and so I appear. I'm going to murder IOU for IOU.
I don't know if I said it right, but let's go with it. Oh, fuck. The situation changed so drastically, even Sayako, who was silent up till now, spoke up.
Toko? Hey, you, flesh in the pan? Don't let cheat.
Fuck. I'm very pissed off and I'm actually struggling to keep up with myself. So, how do I, why? Fuck. Do not compare Toko with Genocider. That dirty girl doesn't, yes? In Trigger Happy, however, I alluded to the fact that Toko will be one of those stank bitches. One of those stanky ass bitches. And don't wipe her ass. And Genocide is just like reveals that she's the one who showers in the relationship.
That dirty girl doesn't bathe herself at all, so I gotta put in 5 times effort to rub myself down in the shower.
Toko's sudden change in personality sent the students clamoring among themselves.
Hey, what the hell does that mean?
Monokuma just shook his head.
There are some things even I don't understand.
The students continued to panic at the strange turn of events. Toko now called herself Genocide Jack, took out a set of scissors from under her skirt, and snipped them with glee as she looked around the gym. You know what? Yeah, I need to take a break. I'm getting flustered trying to keep up with myself, so it's better to stop here and continue in the next video. So man, OverlordCringus, this room is fucking hot. I want you to like, subscribe, smack your face with the keyboard a couple of times, still notifications always. Go check out all our links in the description, especially the channel gives us the Genshin. We play a bunch of Genshin Impact and do that Genshin Impact thanks. Pray for me. And collapsible knees. Fuck.
Sayaka?
Next to her, Chihiro Fujisaki, ultimate programmer, wasn't sure what she should do.